So let's imagine you're 10 years old. Mm, coffee's tasting good tonight. 10 years old. It's a Saturday afternoon. You got nothing to do. Your best friends are out of town. You're bored. Family member comes up and says, "Hey, would you like to go to a birthday party?" And you're like, yeah, sure. Whose is it? And they're like, well, actually, you don't know anybody there. It's a neighbor of mine. I was going to drive you over there. I thought you might have fun. You weren't doing anything. You'd be like, yeah, I don't know. They're like, well, it's a Star Wars themed birthday party. You might go, huh? There'll be other kids there. It'd be like maybe going to a Chuck E. Cheese, although Chuck E. Cheese means something different to me than what it really is today, but whatever. It'd be like going to a Chuck E. Cheese. It might be a good time. All right, yeah, sure, I'll think about it. Yeah, I'll go. And you go, and when you walk in, it's not Star Wars, it's Star Battles. Is the name is the theme, Star Battles. And everything is just a really lame copy of Star Wars. Nothing like Star Wars, in fact, and real cheap and cheesy, and definitely trying to avoid copyright infringement, and you don't know anybody there, and you're just completely out of your element, and the kids are complaining that it's not Star Wars, and it's bad. And I think that is a pretty fair summary of the feeling one could get when watching Starfighter. I'm sorry, the last Starfighter. Oh man, this was a bad movie. I mean, I will tell you, it has. Let me go into the good things about it real quick. This is going to be short. I'll go into the good things about it. The first good thing about it was the cinematography. It was actually it was so well done that I actually noticed it very early on in the movie, that it just looked so well shot. And I looked up the cinematographer. I didn't know who they were, but I was like, wow, they did a really good job. They did do other movies that I also didn't like, but that was pretty striking to have something stand out like that. The other thing that was really good about it was, and I've talked about this in my written reviews, I don't think I've talked about it in any of the video reviews, this fascination in the 80s that arcade games could be more than what they were. You see it with Tron, right? You play an arcade game, you go into another world, which is a little bit like the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. It's a common idea in human history. H.P. Lovecraft going into bringing something from another world. You go to Antarctica, there's a city under the ice, right? There's always something deeper going on. And in the case of the last Starfighter, it's kind of like Ender's Game, where you play a game, but it's not a game, it's something more. And same thing's true in Ender's Game. He thinks he's doing a simulation, and it's not. It's an actual war. They just didn't tell him. Sorry, that's a major spoiler. I may have put that in the title of this. Whew. Okay, anyway. Although that movie's been around a while now, and the book's been around a really long time, so I shouldn't worry about it too much. But okay, so that part of it I liked too, was just this 80s nostalgia thing that I really wanted. But after that, man, this movie's bad. And all I can say about it is it's sort of trying to pick up on that Star Wars vibe. And what I don't get about this, and I've never understood it, is if you've got a low budget, why make science fiction? If you've got a low budget, make a thriller. Christopher Nolan, not to keep bringing him up, but when he did Following, he probably cost a pretty good amount of money, but he could make it look good. He could manipulate and make it look good. And the thing that was remarkable to me is the vast majority of this movie was actually CGI in 1984. And there were a few scenes where there were close-ups, and the lighting from the cinematography was so good that it actually looked real for a second. And I thought, well, if they had just cheated a little bit like showed you just a little snippet of an effect here and there. They might have pulled it off, but unfortunately, they didn't do that. They show long scenes of combat. I will say though that at the time, these effects were much better than any video game that you could have seen, and that might have been kind of fun for audiences to see at that time. I'm not really sure. It's been a long time myself, so I don't really know. But it's not fun now. Now it just completely takes you out of the illusion, of the immersion. Very immersion breaking. So essentially, what it's about, this kid grows up in a trailer park. He wants to become more, and everybody lives there just as part of this world. Think Rudy, right? The movie Rudy. He's just part of this world. Or think October Sky, right? He grows up in a coal mine, and you're going to go down into the coal mine, and he wants to do more. So what's he do? Well, he wants in Rudy, he wants to go to Notre Dame and play football. In October Sky, he wants to go get into rocketry. In this, he has real world aspirations, but unfortunately, he's not going to be able to do it until he plays a video game and gets the high score. And this is where it gets. This was another high mark for the audience, low mark for the filmmaker, where it gets cringy funny. And what's funny about this is he's getting ready to get the high score. Now, something that's very realistic is there was just a singular arcade cabinet sitting in the middle of nowhere at this trailer park. That was actually quite realistic. That could have happened. I used to see that all the time when I was a kid. Just a single. There was a place where we used to camp, and there'd be nothing there but like a little shack with 2 arcade cabinets in there. I mean, really, literally, that was a real thing that happened. But he's getting the high score in this game, which is the test, right, for the aliens to come find him, because apparently he's very talented if he can get a high score in this. And when someone sees the score he's getting, like a janitor or something, and he's like, "Hey, everybody!" and all of a sudden people come running from the trailer park, and it's mainly old people up there, just like cheering him on and going nuts, and it's hilarious. The only time an adult ever watched a kid play an arcade when I was a kid is if you were waiting to get seats at a restaurant. That's it. They were bored. They'd watch you play your game. It's the only thing going on. And then it was time to go. There were no smartphones, right? Time to get your seat. Do you think that, hold on, we want to see if he gets high score? No, they just went and sat down. And same thing here, they were going bonkers, just going nuts to see him get high score. Oh man, it was hilarious. It might be worth it to look up that scene on YouTube. I'll see if I can find it. I'll put it in the description. It's pretty funny. And they take him off, and he is the last Starfighter by the end of it, right? So the title itself is kind of a spoiler. I guess I won't spoil the end, although it wouldn't take much for you to figure it out. And in the end, I'll just save you a lot of trouble and say it was basically boring. And that was the real flaw of this, is that I think they were relying on the special effects, the wardrobe, the sets, the creatures, and all of it looked bad. And with just this low budget, like literally the outfits look like pajamas. There are some of you out there that are hearing this and go, "I gotta see it now. This just sounds great." No, don't. It's not even funny bad. Okay, I promise you, I will deliberately review funny bad movies, like movies you should see just because they're bad. Phantasm's great, brilliant movie, hilarious, definitely worth watching. If you like movies that are so bad they're good, I gave that movie 5 stars. This one, 1 star. Please don't waste your time unless you're just so big into low budget science fiction. I don't know anybody that's like that though. Maybe you're that guy or gal. I don't know. Go for it.